Look at this spread. I'm gonna break this table. All right, welcome back. I just finished uploading my Sunday Salvage Fills video. Like today, I uploaded another one on basic frame mods yesterday. Shirt is not flattering for this video. And today is another day. I got some more scores. Yesterday I went to Goodwill and got a bike on accident, a Bridgestone MB3 in good shape. All DODX stuff. It's really low miles, nice. It's pretty good. Pretty low miles, pretty good shape. You know, lots of paint chips. So it's not bad. But I've been messaging this guy on the Frame Builder forum for months. He's down in Corvallis. He had a bunch of tubes he's giving away. Some people are messaging him and they're flaking and blah blah blah. I want to pick it up. I listed him again. I'm like, dude, I want them all. He's like, a couple other guys want some. I think he gave away 5 or 6 tube sets, some dropouts, some stuff that other guys wanted and got to first. But I'm like, dude, I'll come get the rest. And he reposted. He's like, okay, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to be packing and shipping all this stuff for free. This is all dumb. You can just come get it all. I was trying to message him, and for some reason the Frame Builder forum, like, my messages don't go through. They don't get saved. The people don't get them. Finally got one to go through, and I give him my email and my text and my phone number right there in the message. I'm like, dude, just call me. It's been months. I've been trying to connect. It's like, okay. So I drove down there and got them all. Asked if he needed anything, and he was like, do you have any disc brake tabs? And I was like, yeah, I sure do. So I took him, I don't know, 20 bucks for the disc brake tabs, and he gave me all of this. This is way more my thing. This is all new old stock, vintage stuff. It's, I think all Columbus tubes. Everyone grabbed up all the Reynolds 531 tube sets he had. But I want to go through this. There is so much, I literally don't even know where to start. It's overwhelming. Let's start here. So these are a bunch of nice fork crowns. I don't know what they are. That have been pre-brazed. This guy got them from a retired guy who used to be a professional frame builder down in like the 70s, down in California somewhere. So do I trust that these are all fine with my life and my name and reputation? Yes, I'll clean the rust off and be sure, but yes. He told me the guy's name, I don't remember. I know I've heard of him. So here's 3, the exact same fork crown brazen. I'll probably never use them. If the customer wants a road fork or needs a dead old vintage fork cloned, I could use these. They're nice. I know I've had these crowns before. I know I've used them fixing a fork for somebody else. Here's another one of them. I do want to clean them. This one I don't see any actual line of silver or anything on. Maybe I won't trust them. Maybe these are ones he didn't like and got rid of. But that's not true. You put the silver in here. Oh, I can see the Columbus logo is off to the side. Maybe he ended up not using it because he didn't line it up right. Columbus logo on the front. I don't know. I'll look at them. I think they're iffy at all. I'll save them for cutting up and doing stuff with. I swear I saw another one. I didn't really go through this. I took a couple photos of it in the back of my car, and then I was waiting for my other video to upload so I could get it off my phone and delete it so I'd have the data to make this video. I started digging through the lugs a little bit. Just a little cheating. I didn't mean to. I had to do it. Okay, here's a weird little white box. It's got some weird little stuff. This is a couple of Shimano top tube cable clamps and a few old shifter mounts. Like just like little flat metal things that go up against the braze-on before you mount the shifter. Old style looking campy ones. Nothing cool or valuable at all. Here is a bag of down tube cable guides. They are Campagnolo. Lol, I have like those old glass like fish jars you'd sit on the counter and reach in and grab candy and stuff out of, old-timey style. I have 2 of those full of these. Now here's another bag. This is a bag with a zillion springs and the little spring tensioner screws that go in the back of dropouts for lining, like old campy dropouts, vertical dropouts. Whole bag of them. It all looks used. Here's a campy bowl. Here's a random campy lower headset cup. A single campy 35x1 French bottom bracket cup. I might keep this because it's clearly labeled. It'd be good for testing shells and things. So that is a nice thing to have. Campy clamp-on cable guide, chrome, for bikes that don't have the brace-on ones at the bottom bracket shell. You know, these I always get 20-30 bucks for. Pretty easy. A bunch more of these chrome backing plates. He probably just took a lot of shifters off these and put them on brace-on mounts over the years. A lot of weird, I think this is the metal campy inner washer that went on these clamp-on ones, and then the brace-on ones all had like a Darylin plastic one. This is maybe collected those. There's a single Candy Boss, another cable guide, some weird metal tubes with big holes in them. I have no clue what these are. Some more campy, like little shift platey washer things, little metal outer ones. One set of very bizarre down tube brace-on guides. I think these are the kind that you like epoxied onto carbon for early carbon frames or aluminum frames. Usually aluminum ones go all the way through. They have a long double threaded rod and they just like thread on real tight. Sometimes glue and thread. But I think these are, yeah, just epoxy on ones. But if they look like they're stainless, they could probably just be silver brazed onto something. They're big and weird and kind of cool. Maybe I'll save them for something to do with stainless lugs and all sorts of weird nonsense. Okay. Oh, lost the guides. This one, oh boy, okay. This one, I want to start with the lugs. The box is so full, I don't know where to put all this stuff. I got some of the stuff out of the way. This is fork ends and rear drop outs. What we got? Generic, weird. This is weird. Here's another set of tapes in a spot. The label. See, they're very long. They stick way out. The chain stays like normal, but usually the stay comes up like this. So maybe they're for like weird mountain bikes or really small. You have 45-degree angle. So very bizarre, very weird. Semi-vertical. I do not know. Okay, look at this guy. Some weird guy. The socket style you plug your tubes into. It's a very early one I've never seen before. Also like it's 54. That's the one. Maybe the leftovers from repairs. Ooh, here's a nice set of the old Sun Tour mountain bike ones. Say Sun Tour, they don't have an eyelet, which is sad, but I only do fenders, not rear racks for rando bikes. This could be good for that, but I think the angles are also going to be a little tight and a little weird. Very small, very tiny bike, mountain bike. Here is a set of Shimano SF. I think it's Durays? Front dropouts with eyes. That's very useful and cool. I believe this is one of those campy, I can never remember, it's not the Cambio Corsa, but it's something like that. The front, sometimes we call them Grand Sport. It's forged, but it looks like it's stamped steel, just thin, says Brev Campy on it. I have an entire mason jar, I think, of just rights. I don't have any lefts, or vice versa, I don't remember which. This one's a left. Here's another one, which is a right. So now I have exactly one matching set and a lot of extras. I do want to teach some classes eventually. I'm offering on my website, and the only people who have ever hit me up for them were like, whoa, that's way too much money. It's not. It's as much as my frame building class was 15 years ago, so it's not too much money at all. Here's the matching rear campy one for those front dropouts. It's only one so far. Hopefully I'll find another. Here's a single Ritchie with no fender eye. He might have removed it from this one. I think these all came with it. 74 degrees is a good size. I think that Seaway in England still has some of these, but only in like maybe some of the 74s. I think we wanted 65s, the ones that fit for like most size frames, and some little 50s and stuff. So it's like playing the matching game. I'm gonna set them all out so I'm gonna find their partner. Another one of those cool, weird Sun Tour mountain bike ones. Ooh, a campy short non-drive. So these were cool. Most frame builders had a zillion of these sitting around because The drive side one of these I think broke like crazy. So any frame builder has been around for a while, back when road bikes were still popular, usually has like 10 of these non-drive sitting around because I've just replaced the drive side one. So we will see. I know I have 4 or 5 of them sitting around. Yeah, here's another one that can't be short. Non-drives. Some other random 65-degree one. It's got the weird ugly bend, like a lot of stuff just seems cheap to me. I'm just not into it. 65 is a good angle, but someone's removed maybe the fender eye. It was never drilled and tapped for the screw. Another weird angle. Oh, just what I needed. Some more front campies. I have a single front campy. I have 250 of these front campies. My last big vintage score. It's got bags and bags of new old stock unopened. Another Shimano SF. It's a single. Here is a Ritchie 62 non-drive side. 62 and 74. Here's a front Shimano SF that had the front eyelet cut off, but it went too deep into the dropout. So it's basically wrecked unless I want to trim the other side way down too. Okay. Ooh, here's another campy, but it's also a non-drive. Here is another one of these weird guys. It's also a non-drive. Another weird guy, also a non-drive. This might be cool in like a mixedy single speed. It's basically straight. I can use them on both sides. Or maybe a 3-speed thing. Something didn't need a derailleur hanger. Here's another weird generic non-drive 65. There's 2 of those now. Up, and a 3rd one. And a 4th one. Sometimes this stuff happens where guys will campy long non-drive. I have a zillion of these too. Sometimes guys will mix stuff up and throw away all the pairs. That's why you see some of them are zip tied or taped together. Because you do another 65 non-drive. This is so weird. Maybe a bunch of those broke too and we replaced a bunch. Yeah, another short campy non-drive. Maybe this is just all extra old stock. Anyways, when I teach classes, this stuff will be fantastic for practice. Because when I did it, we just had some long rectangular steel strap, and we had to cut it and miter the tubes and put it in braze and pretend it was a dropout. It'd be more fun to do it with real dropouts. It's another campy front. They're both rights. Another campy front, but at least it's a left, but not an exact match. Another pair of these Cambia weird Corsa things for fronts. Another campy. Ooh, it's a match. I do have like I said, like 1,000 of these. Really like 250 or something, but I have 252. And another Ritchie 62 with eye, and another one in 53 with eye, but they're just non-drives. These are just practice, practice, practice. And one set of matching scoop style seat stay caps. So that's nice. I don't even know, maybe Seaway has some of these in England, but I don't even know if you can get just this style. I don't really like to use these plugs very much. They're very heavy, so I mostly use them for repairs when somebody else's is cracked or broken. You can cut it off short and stick this into the top of the seat stay, and you brace it with the lug and brace it with the seat stay. So I mostly don't use them on my own bikes because they're heavy. This is like heavier than the whole seat stay. So I usually like sort of make my own, cap them with a little super light flat piece or something. These are so heavy. But the one matching set, these are, $15. So that's cool. So 1, 2, 3 weird sets of rear dropouts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of matching front dropouts. These seat stay caps, and then a bunch of random So this will go in with all my mismatch and random extra dropouts for dropout brazing practice. It's a shame. I've been so excited. There's one set of these campy ones, one matching set. It's been so cool. So cool. The two fronts is pretty cool. Okay, Madoke. So this is a half full box of vintage fork crowns. Anything cool? Ah, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vintage pista crowns. Round blades, cool little slot in the side, pretty narrow, very vintage, very 50s. It's usually pretty thick and heavy, but you can really sand the shit out of them and take a few millimeters off of, you know, weird machine marks. I think these are for 22.2. Any stays in here? 22.2 blades? Yeah. So, I thought you couldn't really get the 22.2 blades. Most round track stuff is like 24. But then someone was like, you can just use chainstay. Most of them are round, oval, round now. Can't really use that as a fork blade. But people are like, dude, they're fine. They're tough enough. They're fine. I don't know if that's true. I don't really know the difference. I should go look. I feel like fork blades are a little thicker or something, a little tougher. This is one with a single dimple, so it's round, but it's dimpled on the inside. Or maybe that's a dimple on the outside for crank clearance. A lot of vintage bikes are just that way. But I do have a whole case, like 10 pairs of new old stock Columbus round 22.2, either blades or stays, I'm not really sure. Now I have this vintage one, I can compare them. And maybe I'll use that, make some weird old round track rounds. No one wants track bikes anymore. We don't even have a track here in Portland. We used to have Alpenrose, and that was like real popular. People come from all the world. Track bikes are popular, and there's not anymore. Anything that's in fat tires and driving out into the middle of someplace to go ride an old dirt or gravel road isn't cool with the kids anymore. This is cool. So these are, oh, that one's different. These are like vintage Moto Pecan or maybe Nervex fork crowns. They kind of have like the cool M. This one's flat. These two have like a little point on the top, like Nervex ones. This is a solid one, but these two kind of are like sort of partially hollow. Lightweight. They're still too skinny for rando stuff. I might be able to do a 732 rando bike? Probably not. I don't know. Back when these were really popular, they're mostly used for like 27 1/4 and stuff. So I might do a 732. I'll have to do some measuring and playing with. But those are actually cool and I might use someday. Oh dude, look at this. Fake biplane round blade track crown that feels kind of wide to me. It is definitely almost a full centimeter wider than this other track crown. So this is probably definitely for 27 1/4 or maybe even 1 3/8. Look at that, it's weird, it's fake biplane. Cast iron, round blades. I'm in love with this crown. It's gorgeous. I might drill a hole all the way through it to make the biplane more real looking, but it's kind of not heavy. This is gorgeous, I love it. A BCM. It's got a big BCM logo on the front, pretty flat, big window, good shape, not light. A lot of these crowns are really not light. Here's another one of these Moto Pecan style ones without the little arrow on the top. You can see the little sort of partially hollowness. I feel like sometimes I just put like an upside down little piece of tin in here or something to make it look capped off. I don't know. Here's a weird, oh, this looks like an early Raleigh one with big heavy plugs, really, really thick. I've seen like some old Raleigh. The Raleigh ones are wider though. It's like round. So the blade goes on the outside of it. You have to put coils of silver in and heat it and sweat it and pull it through. And then file this down to match. Here's some other ones. I think I have a few of these. They're roughly cast and machined. Thick, weird. I do have a bunch of these, I think. I don't even know what they are. I'll put them on the flea bay. Here's kind of a more modern style one again. Ew, it's the one where like they machine the inside so the sear doesn't poke all the way through. And you just gotta trust that you pull enough silver all the way through. I don't know why. Sometimes just a little lip, I'll just file that all out because I like to put my steer through this way. A little bit poking out, so a little lip to put the silver and the flux around. So the flux around, I silver it, and I can watch it pull down the steer all the way. And then I have to spend a bunch of time grinding and filing that little extra bit of steer that pokes through. So this style's always been a little weird. I've done these before. Some of the modern ones have this, but like have a few slots filed in there, so you can come and add the silver from this side. So it's still into the slots, sort of like little channels that'll still go around the steer tube. So you can see it pull through and make a little ring on this side so you know it's all the way through and all the way around. So that's a weird one. Never seen. I've seen a lot of old vintagey stuff. This one's cool. It's a real flat crown with a real ugly bump. I feel like I've seen this on some vintagey forks. There's 3 of these matching guys. The blades look weird. These might be Imperial oval. Because yeah, it's definitely not the normal oval. But Kaise remakes the Imperial ovals now, and I think Reynolds does too. 3 more. 373. These are old. They're kind of heavy. They're hollow though, so they have a cutout all the way through to the steers. You can drill 2 holes in the steer instead of drilling vent holes in your blade. They're also boxy. They're wide. They might even take a weird blade. They're also narrow. Everything's narrow. Back in the day, everything was 723s to maybe 27 1/4. Another old hollow Frenchy one that has little lines on the top. It's gorgeous. I'm going to save all these for saving vintage rando bikes and stuff. Another interesting little flat one. Here's an interesting one with a one little machined line in it. 1 slot on both sides, a little pokey, and it's got kind of the hollow on the bottom. You see the machined line. It's pretty cool. Definitely keep that one. Maybe I'll use it someday. Maybe skinny tires will be popular again someday. You never know. Another just weird one. Another weird one. This one's got very distinctive little sides. Another kind of ugly tall one with windows. Another big wide Frenchy one. It's heavy. Another one with a little top and kind of distinctive sides. Very Frenchy. I wonder if he added these machine marks himself and never got around to using them. It's a very good possibility. Just kind of slits and they go part way through. Some real skinny guys. These look kind of modern, but real skinny internal. So the blades go over the outside, the weird plugs, the dumb steer tube thing. Super narrow, like 723 maybe. It might be for 718 only. Back in that time, and that was like the hot thing. A couple more of these weird ones with like the machining little line on the side. They're real cool. Some of these are popular and in high demand, but they're kind of cool. They'd be good practice for the class to make kids clean up the sockets and clean up the inside, get the rust off, brazen steer, brazen some extra chunks of dead fork blade or something. Single piece of 2000 grit sandpaper. So a few very cool crowns, a few very interesting crowns. Frame Builder Supply and me, and probably a lot of other frame builders, have a lot of weird, rare, and cool, and sometimes high desirable vintage stuff just sitting in a drawer in little private museums. Trying to talk Frame Builder Supply into getting a big display case on the wall or something. You have to keep it real thin and making a display. Like I have a bunch of really rare, really cool ones of these. You can have a whole display case to show off to all the other nerdy frame builders who come and visit. I think that would be really cool. A lot of work and no dough, but whatevs. So this is my prized possession. This is a box of lugs. I started digging around. It's not all lugs. There's some bottom bracket shells. A little bummed, but whatever. This is a cool set. It has cool, scrolly, carvy lugs with big windows. They're very awkward. They're weird. This is 2 matching sets of step-through lugs. It's got a bottom head lug and a top step-through. So instead of coming like level, the tube shoots way down towards the back of the bike. Girls' bike style. Very cool though. I'm into it. I love them. I can't get enough of them. I want them. I guess let's put them in here. 2 of those in case I want to make 2 girls' bikes. This is a set of the Nervex, the later ones, not the professional. They got a big lip on the bottom. They have a little lip, little carve out, little lip. So this is like post 74 Nervex lugs. Someone has already added a super long point to one of them, but not the other ones. This down tube lug, someone has cut in half and then rebrazed together. I do not know why. Maybe they're trying to make it fit a kind of shaped arrow tube or something. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Will I ever use those? I don't know. This looks to be a Nervex professional bottom bracket shell, but it's absolutely not. It's some other really scrolly, really carvy, super cool bottom bracket shell. It is old. It's got really rough castings. It doesn't have the drill and tap guard like for the grease thing, so but it looks very 50s. It's gorgeous. It would take a lot of work to get it all cleaned up and stuff. Man, it is cool. It is scrolly. I like it. Guess I'll leave those out back in this box. Here's one that looks a little weird. I think it's single oversized, but it's very vintage. Those round sockets. Maybe it's an old tandem one. It's got long points. I don't know. I also need to measure all of these and see and check the threads and see if they're all English or there's any Italian or French stuff that I really can't use. Here's also an oversized one, but it's a little more modern-y. It has oval sockets, but they need to be cleaned up. They're still a rough cast. And this is not just oversized, this is also pinched. So I don't know if it's for special tube, or just take a 31/8 tube and just pinch it in the vise a little bit. See a lot of like 90s and late 80s, maybe Bianchis and hybrid-y, crossy kind of ATB bikes. Did a lot of oversized tubes that pinched them. So that's weird and cool. Here's a real, it's Cinelli SC, made in Italy. Cinelli made the nicest stuff. This thing is cast so nice. It looks like a really modern, nice bottom bracket shell. But it says Cinelli on it, so there's a very good chance it's Italian. But who knows? Round stays, standard size tubes. Lots more lugs. So here's another set of cool Nervexy style lugs, the little ring around them. They have nice little points on the top where they touch each other on the back of the head tube. This down tube one has 3 windows carved in it. The top tube does not. So I don't know if he carved those windows in himself or if this is a matched lug set. Oh, he did carve one window into the top of this head lug. It's pretty cool. It kind of needs the matching ones down the side at least. I don't know. So maybe that needs some work, or maybe I can match with something else. Okay, here's one I saw earlier. I want to show off. It's another one of that really cool, scrolly, weird lug set. Crown scroll, but the back side is not for 1-inch top tube, but it's for 2 skinny tubes. So this is for a mixty, a proper mixty with twin skinny top tubes. So there's 2 head lugs, 2 down lower head lugs, and some real ugly generic seat lugs I would never use. There's no points, there's no cutouts, they're just bloop, bloop, the ugly ear. I don't like these old style, this sort of stamped steel ears. They always stretch and mangle and pinch. They're no good. So I would definitely replace a modern mixty lug, or just make one out of a piece of tube and braze on, a good seat binder. But these are kind of cool. There's the pretty cool mixty lugs you can get now. I also have to check these to make sure these are all standard, not French or weird. Make sure these all take normal size tubes, not metric tubes and stuff. But I don't know, man. I'd clean these up. I'd use them. I've only made one mixty. Never anyone asked me to make it. I just made it for fun, and then it sat around until I sold it for way too cheap and we closed the shop. But to a really short lady, well, really her boyfriend, but they were happy. I heard he still rides, or she has it, still rides it a lot. It's a pride and joy. It's a blue, sparkle, powder-coated Northern mixty with a little heart-shaped front demi portour rack. Hopefully I didn't take it off and put a bunch of ugly parts on. Here's just a generic, cheap, like stamped steel bottom bracket shell. It says Champion on the bottom. Well, maybe somebody's looking for that for repair or something. Here's a really weird lug. It's like a lug blank you could carve out, but all these blanks are never tall enough to do long points and things. So you can make real bikini style lugs. I don't like bikini style lugs. Here's another set of these Nervexy style ones with the lip. This also has just windows on the tops. No windows anywhere else, so that's nice. They're very matching. They have small points. The back of the head tube. Looks like maybe they're filed or cut off kind of flat on the front. This one's not perfectly flat. But if these aren't stupid metric, these are regular 1-inch, I'll absolutely use those. This mix and match a seat lug that looks about right. Maybe cut it up a little bit. This is probably a matcher to this guy. Head tube, top tube. This must be seat tube, top tube. This is the first one I saw I'm pretty excited about. I think I've had a couple of sets of these and used them on some custom Northers. So it's a little bit scrolly. See the cutouts? Maybe stuff, a little pointy on the sides, little carby here. So this is a complete matching set. It does have the stupid stamped steel ears with all the vintage lugs do. What you really do is drill these holes out wider, slide in a piece of like 3/8 rack tube, and then just fill it all of brass. Just fill it and then sand it all down. And then you can use a a normal seat binder bolt. Or some guys will just, I think before I've cut out one side into that, I've also cut out one side, just push through like a thick rack boss all the way through, then filled it full of brass. So it's just threaded all the way through. So just put a bolt in. Done some stuff. Guys do stuff. So seat lugs on vintage lugs always need a ton of work. I know a lot of frame builders who charged, if you want to use vintage lugs, they charge $300 per lug because they need so much work to make them pretty and get to the stuff. Like 3 hours each of grinding and filing and sanding and a little cleanup and reshaping. And it's pretty cool. Here's a weird matching set of also step-through lugs. I think this is a lower, and I think this is an upper with a very extreme angle. Like that thing is like right down to the bottom bracket step-through. I did do a bike for my mom once where I did a step-through at an extreme angle and bent the tube at the bottom like a J shape. Those old cheap Schwinn's were that way. They come way down and then J shape up, just missing the front derailleur. It could be like right under him or something. Make it really easy to step through. She had arthritis real bad, so I did a crazy bike. This would be kind of cool for that, doing like a lug version. That one I did all oversized tubes and Philip raised. Blah, blah, blah. It's a lot of work. It was cool. Here's another one of these cool scrolly lugs, or just a single lower head lug. Let's see if I can find some matchers. Here's an old, I don't remember if they call these Pugant or whatever, but it has big windows in it, really long points. No point on the top, it's very nicely rounded. It's a pretty lug if I can find the rest of them. Here's another one of the scrolly lugs. Looks like he already started cutting it apart to do some sort of brazen here to replace the stupid seat ears. So that's fine. I'll finish cutting that off to do whatever brazing I want to do for the seat ear. So now I got another half a set. Another bottom bracket shell. Oh, it's another Shelley SE. Very nice. This is kind of fancy. Here is some stainless steel lugs. They're weird. A big lip. They have a big ugly face. I think these are both head lugs. Both top head lugs. I don't know. They're weird. Polished. Worst case, I can do something with them. I don't know what, but something. Here is a weird seat lug that has been machined on the back to put some other style of braze on. Looks like someone added a point right here and didn't finish it. They brazed it on and cleaned it up. They didn't finish filing it. No idea what it's to. It's a weird angle, so this looks like it's maybe that's just an empty hole, because look at the angle. I think that this is more likely a seat lug for the mixty style, or for the girls step through bar style. So that's interesting. Oh, here's another one of the, oh no, this is like a fancy Nervex lug. Is this the Professional? I think this is the Nervex Professional seat lug. That's gorgeous. I wish the other two, or hope the other two are in here. Worth the dough. Here's another lower head lug that had a point added to it and then never got finished cleaning up. Set this aside too. Come on, matchers. Come on, matchers. Here is a set of long point lugs. Did he add the points? It's hard to tell. Kind of looks like he did. This is a top head tube lug and a down lug. Oh yeah, definitely out of the points. And see where they need to be a little more, like filing, cleaning the outsides of them. It's like filing tops and bottoms. So you need to tighten it, probably in the stages. But this is a nice, just stamped steel, very thin, very pretty, very long point. I will absolutely 100% use these. Gorgeous. Can carve a modern seat lug down to match them. Here's a semi-modern seat lug. Ooh, this is cool. So this is like Miata or Rivendell style. It's got little points. It's got a dumb lip in it for the seat tube to stop in. I hate those. I grind them out. My seat to come all the way through and pull silver through. And it's kind of cast in, but on one side it's cast hexagonal, so you push a nut in here. And the other side it's cast recessed, so you just run a bolt in. I love this. I kind of hate lugs that are just threaded, because if you damage those threads, you're kind of boned. So it is very nice when you can have a replaceable binder bolt. So people are always over tightening and damaging binding bolts, or have this style with the hexagon. So you can just press a nut, and I've replaced these on lots of vintage bikes, and often the hexagon won't fit, and I'll just get like an M5 or M6 or whatever, slightly too big, and just grind a little bit off on the grinder on all of the 5 sides, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides, until it just press fits in. You want it to come in, you don't want it to fall out on its own, but you want to be able to, like, you know, put a long bolt from this side and hammer a couple times and knock it out the other side in case the threads ever get damaged, needs to be replaced. So that's cool. I'm going to scratch up my new coffee table. Here's another long pointy lug that looks like he probably added the points on. It's a seat. It's real long. Does it match those other long point lugs? I don't know. Does it? Yeah, kinda. I could probably use it with them. Oh, it's gorgeous. Make me want to build some cool bikes. Here's another lug set that he's done some work on and cleaned up. They have little diamonds on the top. They have little points. I like that. Looks like he probably added the points. Yeah, this one's like broken off on the bottom. Oh, that one's broken off too. Maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. So the lower one, it matches. It looks really nice. So thin steel. Sometimes I like the thin steel ones that have like little pockets. They're all rounded in here. It's the sharp edges, so like they can just fill full of flux or dirt or rust and rust out from the inside apparently. So sometimes they'll come in here and fill these little pockets full of brass and spend forever filing them. It's a bunch of work. Or just burp them a bunch. Just fill them full of silver. Just put so much in until it blobs out everywhere. That's why I want it to be able to come out the top. Like the seat tube all the way through. Looks like it's fill and fill from this side and pull until I start pulling blobs everywhere all down the excess seat tube. Just cut the seat tube off. Keep the rest of the shorelines looking clean. It's got some sort of weird crappy reinforcement in here. I think it's probably dumb. It's probably fine, but I would probably cut this whole thing off and brace something nice on. That's a nice matchy set I will definitely use. Here's a weird seat lug he was modifying. So this one he actually did that too. Probably can't pick it up on the camera. There's really not enough light in here, but this had hollow ears that he put a big thick piece of tubing in and then brazed it in, just filled it full of brass everywhere, inside, outside. Just filled, and then machined it, and then tapped this side and machined this side for a recessed head. This is like just a weird little thing. This would be good for like a mixed or a step through. It's just a little cap to be on the top and have the seat binder. It doesn't really do anything or have any other tubes attached to it. That's cool. I like it. Here's another one of the mixedy ones. The oval in the back. Shooting up. I think we have 2 lug sets for those. This might go to the middle of those. Here's another one of the really ugly ones that came in those mixedy lugs. It's just a piece of tubing with one of these ears on it. No points, no scrolliness, no nothing. I mean, I guess I could carve it up and add some little scrolls, but well, at some point you can do it. Just 5 hours worth of work, this ugly lug, or I can go buy a cool one of these for like $13 from Frame Builder Supply. Here's another lug blank. It's just long and boring. Can be carved up or have something done with it. Frame Builder Supply also has modern versions of these lug blanks for $13 or $14. A good seat binder in them, so probably won't use that. Here's another set of the Nervex non-pro style lugs. No lip on the front, with flat. No lip on the bottom. Pretty short. Matching head lugs. It's really what you need. It's nice to have the matching seat lug too, but matching head lugs is really what it's all about. Use any modern seat lug and do a little bit of work. Ooh, here's another top tube lug with all the windows and the long points. Pretty. These lugs are so nice. There's a couple of them. I almost think they're early Henry James. Maybe there's something else. Because I don't have his like lip that needs to be filed off or anything. But it's a 71 degree, so that's weird. Top head lug, pretty, pretty, pretty. Here's the bottom one that matches at 60. It's real thin. It's real. Henry James also like it's thicker down here. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's an early version of the Henry James. I was used to the later ones. Henry James went out of business and stopped making the lugs. And it's a real tragedy. They're the nicest lugs you could get. They were so nice. They had a bunch of different angles. You really always make stuff work. Here is a little 1-inch lug set. A little shorter, but look at this. Big point on the top. Big point on the bottom. Nice long points, long points, complete matching lug. It's a little bikini, it's a little vintagey. It doesn't have points on the top, the round part, on the back side of the head tube. I love that. I could add them. Someone did braze on some big, weird, solid bolts for the ears and slot it. It's probably like a factory thing. Looks good, man. This looks good. I'd use this on something. It's a nice look. Modern lug sets are like 50, 60 bucks for boring ones and, 70, 80, 90 bucks for really nice ones. So getting 4 or 5 vintagey lug sets are gorgeous. Makes me happy. Ooh, here's this is also a matching top tube lug. For this set, haha! But someone has added really long points to it. So they've carved it up a little bit. Here's the lower lug. You can see it's got this extra scrolliness in the short points. This one's got long points. So this one we need to have points brazed on and this little lip cut out to make it match. It's doable. It's doable unless there's already some matchy stuff in here. Ooh! Here's another one of the long points with the fake broken off bottom thing. Seat lug. I think I found a whole matching set of those, so this might be an extra. Or maybe I just found the head lugs. God, now I gotta dig. This video is gonna be so long. Nope, it's a complete set. This is an extra. Another weird big lug blank. But that might be the whole matchy set then. Yep, whole matchy set of lug blanks. Alright. That's cool. Bunch of bottom brackets, generic. Kinda cool little shapes. Ooh, this one's kind of got the same matchy scrolly as those lugs. This might be the matching one. If this is English, there's a sticker on it with an F written on it in pen. This might be French. But if it's English, I might use that with those lugs. It'd be cool. More vintagey ones. Here's another one with a little bit of shapes to it. Here's just a piece of random tube, probably used as part of the lug or something, or lug extension, or maybe good to braze on and then cut into the points. Here's a weird lug that for some reason had the down tube cut off. Maybe I was going to use a shaped down tube, an oversized one, so it cuts one off, so the filler braze it. RGF, is that what that says? That's weird. Here's another Chinelli SC. Maybe these are valuable and people still want them. Maybe they're English. Another Chinelli SC. If they're English, I can use them. If they're weird, I might try and sell them as a paperweight. Here's another just generic one. It looks cast. It's nice. It's got points, windows. I might use it if it's English. Ooh, there's some fun stuff in the bottom of here. There's some old down tube shifter D-ring bolts. Campagnolo. I think that says Campagnolo. Yep. So at least 3 of these Campagnolo down tube shifter bolts. These are great because they're so short. A lot of guys that make dummy headsets use these on the side, so you have something to twist on and hold the dummy headset in place. I use them a lot on Rinko fenders. So you split the fender in half and have a little nut in it so the fender bolts together. So when you pack your bike, you don't have to pull the back half of the fender off and not the whole fender. Make it really quick. I'll use these and that quick release nut thing. So you can just unthread it and Make it real fast and easy for trains and airports and whatnot. It's kind of like a Nervex lug that someone has cut all the scrolliness off of and removed the ears and braced it all up. Why would you do that with the Nervex lugs? I don't know. I guess you could use it to make it match some of the later ones. He's got like 3 sets of the later ones we found. So we cut the earlier seat lugs to match the later ones. New old stock Nervex lugs I got like $300 for on eBay when I come across them and picked them up and sold them. They're worth a dough. All the nicest vintage bikes have campy dropouts and the Nervex professional scrolly lugs. Boring bottom bracket show. Real boring bottom bracket show. Real boring bottom bracket show. Real boring bottom bracket show. Okay. So several good lug sets, maybe a couple cool bottom bracket shells. A bunch of other random lugs. A couple of really cool bottom bracket shells. God, I want to build a custom bike. No, it's so heavy. So heavy. So heavy. A lot of guys like Philip Ray's bottom bracket shells because they're just so light. It's so heavy. You can really grind and file the crap out of it. Take a third of that weight off. Leave that box for bottom bracket shells and put all these lugs into this 4-pound box just to make my life easier. Found one old Duracell battery. Oh my god, cool stuff. This video is 49 minutes already. We're not even halfway through. I'm gonna have to do this part A and part B. Here's some big chunks for like chromoly steel. They said they were using for like tandem eccentric bottom brackets and stuff. Maybe I'll do something with that. I have this whole box and all these tubes, and I just feel like maybe this video is just way too long, and it should be a part 1 and part 2. Doesn't mean I'm going to leave this all here in my way, try to get this all edited now and uploaded, and then start on this again in a couple hours. It's a busy day for me, I guess. Maybe look at one tube. Look at one tube. So this tube's already had one side mitered. He tried to go through them and label them and said take it all with a grain of salt. Label 28.6, 7.7.9, 620. So it's a single oversized tube, 28.6, so it could be 0.7.9. It should be 979. If it was anything other than a seat tube. So this might be a seat tube. 0.9 means it's probably for a 28.6 seat post. And they probably accidentally thought it was a down tube and mitered this end for a down tube. So I'll have to play with it and see if this is thin and see if there's a button there. See if a seat post slides in real easy. Alright, one tube. Okay, I'm going to show one other tube. Oh, I just want to play with the tubes. These are tandem boom tubes that were round chromoly tubes that were squished in this long, flat shape to really stiffen up the bottom of a tandem. He said, I don't know how, I didn't ask him how he knew, but he said these were custom squished by Paul Components for some bike at some point in time and never used. So there's some big chromoly tubes. I use them for something weird. They're not heavy, they're not light. So many tubes in here. This has to be part 1 and part 2. It's going to go like an hour just looking at the tubes. So anyways, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and maybe I'll get the next one done tomorrow. Get this one edited up. Thanks for watching.